inside a California courtroom today, we heard new details about the chaotic scene around Michael Jackson as he lay dying.
What if everything you thought you knew about Michael Jackson's final days was only part of the story? Behind the headlines, courtroom testimony, and endless speculation lies a heartbreaking chain of decisions that forever changed music history. Newly examined evidence, witness statements, and forgotten recordings reveal a disturbing timeline filled with unanswered questions, desperate choices, and moments that still haunt fans around the world. This is the story of Michael Jackson's final hours, and the legacy they left behind. The rehearsals that proved he never stopped fighting. While investigators reconstructed Michael Jackson's final hours inside a courtroom, another equally compelling story was unfolding through hundreds of hours of rehearsal footage. These recordings revealed a performer who, despite mounting physical challenges, refused to compromise the artistic standards that had defined his legendary career. For fans, watching the footage was both inspiring and heartbreaking. It captured glimpses of the electrifying entertainer the world had admired for decades, while also exposing the immense effort it took for him to keep pushing forward. The This Is It residency was never intended to be an ordinary concert tour. Announced in 2009, it was envisioned as an unprecedented series of 50 performances at London's O2 Arena, a spectacular farewell unlike anything audiences had seen before. Every song was redesigned with elaborate choreography, cutting-edge visual effects, and groundbreaking stage technology. Michael Jackson personally oversaw nearly every creative decision, from camera angles and lighting cues to costumes, musical arrangements, and choreography. Those who worked alongside him recalled that he had no interest in delivering a simple greatest hits show. Instead, he wanted audiences to feel as though they were witnessing the future of live entertainment. Jackson demanded absolute perfection in every rehearsal. During Billie Jean, he practiced his iconic moonwalk repeatedly, refining even the smallest details until every movement matched his vision. Crew members recalled that no adjustment was too minor if it improved the performance. Yet behind that perfectionism, his physical condition was worsening. He often appeared exhausted, sometimes shivering or lacking the strength to finish rehearsals. Despite these struggles, he remained committed to This Is It. Whether directing the complex choreography of Beat It or insisting that Thriller remain in its original key, Jackson never lowered his artistic standards, determined to deliver an unforgettable comeback. His innovative spirit extended beyond music into stage engineering itself. Preparations for Smooth Criminal revisited the famous anti-gravity lean, made possible through specially designed footwear and patented stage technology. Jackson carefully reviewed every technical detail to ensure the illusion remained flawless, proving that innovation remained central to his artistic vision even after years away from touring. One of the most emotional moments came on June 24, 2009, the day before his death, when Jackson rehearsed Earth Song. Those present described the performance as powerful and deeply moving. He envisioned massive three-dimensional projections, dramatic environmental imagery, and state-of-the-art visual effects that would transform the song into an unforgettable message about humanity and the planet. No one in the arena realized they were witnessing one of his final performances. One of the most emotional rehearsals featured I'll Be There, where Michael Jackson planned to sing alongside footage of his younger self. Today, those rehearsals remain a powerful testament to his creativity, resilience, and relentless pursuit of perfection, proving that even in his final days, his passion for music never faded. The final morning that changed everything. June 25, 2009, began like any other day inside Michael Jackson's Los Angeles mansion, but it would become one of the darkest days in music history. Just hours earlier, he had returned from rehearsing for the highly anticipated This Is It concerts, appearing energetic and determined. Behind the scenes, however, he was battling severe insomnia, chronic pain, and exhaustion. Despite receiving multiple medications throughout the night, he still couldn't sleep. As morning arrived, he reportedly requested propofol, a powerful surgical anesthetic never intended for insomnia. Shortly afterward, Jackson became unresponsive, setting in motion the tragic chain of events that shocked the world. One of the most controversial moments in Michael Jackson's final hours centered on the initial attempt to revive him. According to courtroom testimony, CPR was performed while he remained on a soft mattress instead of being moved to a firm surface, despite emergency dispatchers instructing that he be placed on the floor. Medical experts have long maintained that effective chest compressions require a solid surface to maximize blood circulation during cardiac arrest. Bodyguard Alberto Alvarez later testified that instead of immediately calling 911, he was instructed to collect medication bottles and remove medical items from the room before emergency responders arrived. Prosecutors argued that these actions may have cost precious minutes during a life-or-death emergency. When paramedics finally reached the mansion, they reportedly were not fully informed about all the medications Jackson had received, forcing them to treat him without complete medical information. He was rushed to UCLA Medical Center, where doctors fought for nearly an hour to save his life. Despite every effort, Michael Jackson was pronounced dead at 2:26 p.m. News of his passing spread instantly across the globe, interrupting television broadcasts and overwhelming websites with millions of searches. As fans mourned the loss of the King of Pop, investigators began asking the question that would dominate the courtroom for years. Could this tragedy have been prevented? The courtroom reveals what happened inside Michael Jackson's death left millions grieving, but it also sparked a search for answers that led to a California courtroom. Prosecutors reconstructed his final hours through witness testimony, including that of bodyguard Alberto Alvarez. He testified that Dr. Conrad Murray performed CPR while Jackson remained on a soft bed instead of a firm surface, despite instructions from the 911 dispatcher. Alvarez also claimed he was asked to remove medication bottles and medical supplies before calling emergency services. Prosecutors argued these delays and the failure to immediately disclose Jackson's propofol use may have compromised life-saving efforts during those critical moments. As investigators reconstructed the timeline, a troubling picture emerged. Michael Jackson's bedroom had effectively become a private medical treatment room, filled with equipment and medications typically found in a hospital. Prosecutors argued that administering propofol, a powerful anesthetic intended for surgical procedures, in a home setting without proper monitoring was an extraordinary risk. Unlike a hospital operating room, there were no anesthesiologists, no intensive care equipment, no emergency response team, and no backup medical staff. Instead, a single physician was responsible for monitoring Jackson while using a substance that medical experts testified required constant supervision because breathing and heart function can deteriorate within minutes. Throughout the trial, jurors reviewed medical records, emergency recordings, photographs, and witness testimony that reconstructed the singer's final hours in remarkable detail. Outside the courthouse, thousands of fans gathered daily while media outlets around the world followed every development. The Los Angeles County coroner ultimately ruled that Jackson died from acute propofol intoxication combined with other sedatives, classifying the death as a homicide in the medical sense. Prosecutors argued this evidence demonstrated gross medical negligence, while the defense maintained that Jackson's severe insomnia and personal choices also contributed to the tragedy. Ultimately, the jury was left to answer the question millions had been asking since June 25, 2009. Who was legally responsible for the death of the King of Pop? A legacy overshadowed by questions. Even after the courtroom sessions ended each day, the debate surrounding Michael Jackson's death continued around the world. While prosecutors focused on evidence and witness testimony, millions of fans struggled to accept that an artist who had appeared energetic during This Is It rehearsals could be gone less than 24 hours later. The contrast fueled countless theories across television, newspapers, and the internet. Some believed Jackson had been deliberately targeted, while others speculated that the enormous financial stakes surrounding his comeback may have influenced the events leading to his death. Although investigators found no evidence supporting a broader criminal conspiracy, public fascination never faded. Michael's sister, LaToya Jackson, became one of the strongest voices challenging the official narrative. In numerous interviews, she argued that Dr. Conrad Murray should not be viewed as the only person responsible, suggesting he was merely part of a much larger situation. Years later, Michael's daughter, Paris Jackson, reignited the discussion during a 2017 interview, saying she personally believed her father had been murdered. She recalled that Michael had expressed fears during his final months that unnamed individuals were out to get him. While some viewed her comments as the heartfelt perspective of a grieving daughter, others noted they were personal beliefs rather than new evidence. Even today, these differing viewpoints continue to fuel debate over one of music history's most enduring mysteries. Beyond the courtroom testimony and emotional family interviews, Michael Jackson's legacy remained surrounded by myths that had circulated for decades. Following his death, social media exploded with rumors claiming he had faked his own death. Alleged sightings surfaced across Europe, South America, and the United States, accompanied by blurry photographs and grainy videos that attracted millions of views. Despite their popularity, investigators repeatedly dismissed these claims as lacking credible evidence. Another long-standing misconception centered on Jackson's changing appearance. While many believed he intentionally changed his skin color, medical records confirmed he suffered from vitiligo, an autoimmune condition that causes the loss of skin pigmentation. His legal history also remained a subject of public debate, despite his 2005 acquittal on all criminal charges after one of the most closely watched celebrity trials in American history. During Dr. Conrad Murray's 2011 trial, however, jurors heard a deeply personal audio recording made only weeks before Jackson's death. His voice sounded weak and heavily fatigued, yet his message focused not on fame or concerts, but on his dream of building a world-class children's hospital. "I've written these songs because I hurt," he quietly explained, revealing the compassion that fueled much of his music. For many fans, the recording became one of the trial's most emotional moments, reminding the world that behind the controversies stood an artist determined to leave a legacy of hope, healing, and kindness. The legacy that lives beyond the headlines. When Dr. Conrad Murray was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter in 2011, many believed the legal battle over Michael Jackson's death had finally reached its conclusion. The court determined that administering propofol in a private home without proper medical safeguards constituted criminal negligence. Although Murray received a 4-year prison sentence, he was released after serving about 2 years under California's correctional policies. While the verdict brought a measure of accountability, it did not end the public debate. Members of the Jackson family continued to express differing views about his final months, with some accepting the court's findings and others believing important questions remained unanswered. Despite those lingering controversies, Michael Jackson's influence has never faded. More than 15 years after his passing, his music continues to inspire millions around the world. His songs are streamed billions of times, his choreography is studied by dancers, and countless artists credit him as a major influence on their careers. Beyond entertainment, Jackson's humanitarian legacy also endures. He donated millions to charitable causes and used songs like Heal the World, Man in the Mirror, and Earth Song to promote compassion and social responsibility. Even in the audio recording played during the trial, Jackson spoke not about fame or wealth, but about his dream of building a world-class children's hospital, revealing that behind the global superstar was a man who hoped to leave the world a better place. People remember Michael Jackson for the moonwalk, his groundbreaking music videos, sold-out concerts, and record-breaking albums. But they also remember an artist who constantly pushed creative boundaries while using his music to inspire hope, compassion, and positive change. His life was far from simple, marked by extraordinary achievements, painful setbacks, public controversies, and deeply personal struggles that unfolded under an unprecedented level of global scrutiny. While official investigations established the medical cause of his death and resulted in a criminal conviction, many questions raised by family members and fans continue to fuel discussion, making his final days one of the most closely examined stories in entertainment history. Yet perhaps the most meaningful way to remember Michael Jackson is not through the tragedy that ended his life, but through the extraordinary legacy he left behind. He broke racial barriers on television, revolutionized the music video, redefined live performance, and inspired generations of artists around the world. His songs continue to transcend language, culture, and generations, uniting millions through the power of music. Long after the headlines faded, long after the courtroom emptied, and long after the final rehearsal ended, the legacy of the King of Pop continues to live on, proving that while the man may be gone, his influence on music and popular culture remains truly timeless.